What if the last day of school was your last day anywhere? Lockers closing, lights flickering, and empty classrooms hide more than silence. These terrifying true stories reveal what some students saw, and what followed them home. Watch until the end if you dare, because some doors only open once. The hallway echo. The last bell rang. Lockers slammed. Laughter filled the hallways. Maya lingered at her locker. The others had already rushed outside. Summer was waiting. She turned the dial. It jammed. Again. Footsteps echoed behind her. Heavy. Slow. She turned. The hallway was empty. Just rows of blue lockers and flickering lights. She twisted the lock harder. It opened. Inside. Not her books. A single note. Folded neatly. She unfolded it. Her name scrawled in red ink. And one sentence beneath it. You were supposed to leave. She dropped the paper. Backed away. The lights behind her shut off. One by one. Marching closer. She ran. Shoes squeaking on the floor. A door slammed ahead. She froze. A figure stood at the end of the hallway. Still. Head tilted. The fire alarm blared. But no one came. No one answered. And the hallway kept getting longer. The final bus ride. Marcus took the last seat by the window. The bus was half empty. Most students had been picked up early. Rain hit the windows. Soft at first. Then harder. He stared outside. The playground blurred in gray. The driver looked back. Expression blank. Then nodded once. The bus began to move. But not toward the usual street. Not toward home. The buildings passed too fast. Trees bent in strange directions. Everything felt wrong. Marcus looked around. No one else reacted. Their faces looked stiff. Eyes open. Unblinking. He called to the driver. No reply. He stood. Touched a student's shoulder. Cold. Solid. Not breathing. The windows turned black. Not dark. Black. Nothing outside. Just the bus. The driver spoke finally. You missed your stop. Marcus stepped back. Where are we going? The driver smiled without teeth. Where the others went. 3. The basement room ***. Lena was the last to leave the art room. She had forgotten her sketchbook. The halls were quiet. She walked past the trophy case. Past the janitor's closet. Lights flickered above. The basement door stood open. That door was always locked. She paused. A breeze came from below. Cold. Smelled like wet dirt. A soft hum echoed up. Like a low voice humming a lullaby. She stepped down one stair. Then another. The door creaked shut behind her. She turned. It was gone. Only a wall. The staircase stretched deeper. The hum grew louder. She called out. A whisper answered. Her name. The stairs ended. A single light bulb buzzed overhead. A desk sat in the middle of the room. And someone sat behind it. Not moving. Face hidden. She stepped closer. The figure lifted its head. It was her. Same face. Same clothes. But the eyes were all black. And it smiled. Finally. You are late. Lena stepped back. The other her stood up. Every movement was stiff, delayed. Like a puppet learning to move. The smile widened. The mouth stretched too far. The skin around it cracked. You stayed after the final bell, it said. Its voice was hers. But too flat. Like a recording with no breath. Lena turned. No door. No stairs. Just brick. She ran along the wall. No edges. No exit. Behind her the hum returned. But now it was louder. Many voices. All humming in unison. She turned. More figures stood in the corners of the room. Identical to her. Blank faces. Open mouths. One by one they whispered the same words. Stay here. Be still. Become. They stepped forward. The lights dimmed. The ground pulsed beneath her feet. She screamed. No sound came out. Her voice stayed in the air in front of her. Then got pulled into the dark. The figures reached her. Hands touched her shoulders. Soft. Too soft. And as her vision blurred, she saw the desk again. A sketchbook lay open. The page showed her face. Drawn in black. Eyes gone. Just a note underneath. Lena never left. Lena's hands trembled as she reached for the sketchbook. But her arms did not move. She tried again. Nothing. She looked down. Her feet had melted into the floor. Not stuck. Blended. The others circled her now. Their faces flickered between hers and strangers. Old students. Missing ones. All the same empty eyes. One stepped forward. Its voice was a whisper inside her skull. You are the final page. The sketchbook flipped on its own. Blank paper. One page left. A charcoal pencil hovered above it. Moved slowly. Deliberately. Lines formed her mouth. Her eyes. Then went dark. Filled in. Her breath stopped. Not from fear. Because there was no breath left to take. The light overhead dimmed to a dull orange glow. And in the silence, her voice whispered with theirs. I stayed. I stayed. I stayed. At the top of the stairs, the door reappeared. It opened. Another student peeked in. Hello? Is anyone still here? The sketchbook snapped shut. And the hum began again. The student stepped inside. Shoes echoed on the concrete stairs. She glanced around, uncertain. Lena? The hum grew louder. It drifted through the walls, through the floor, through her chest. She reached the bottom. Saw the desk. The sketchbook lay still. She flipped it open. Lena's face stared up from the page. Eyes black. Mouth parted. A perfect drawing. She touched the page. It felt warm. Then the air shifted. The lights flickered. The room darkened without reason. A figure stepped from the corner. Not quite Lena. But not someone else either. It smiled. You are early. The door behind the student vanished. The floor pulsed beneath her. And from the walls, the whispering began again. I stayed. I stayed. I stayed. The sketchbook turned another page. Blank. Waiting. The blank page rippled like water. The pencil lifted from the desk. It hovered, tip shaking as if impatient. The student backed away. But there was nowhere to go. The room had no corners now. Only darkness, circling inward. She looked up. Dozens of faces watched from the walls. Half-drawn. Frozen mid-expression. All staring at her. The pencil touched paper. A line curved into a jaw. A nose. Her eyes. She screamed. But the sound was thin. Swallowed before it could rise. The air thickened. Her limbs turned heavy. Her feet began to sink. Not through the floor. Into it. She looked at the figure. It stood perfectly still. Head tilted. Mouth moving with no sound. Then her voice echoed from behind her. From above. From inside the sketchbook. Calling her name. Begging her to leave. To run. But her body no longer moved. Her image on the page was nearly complete. The hum stopped. The final line was drawn. Her eyes filled in black. And the room fell silent. The sketchbook closed on its own. The desk stood empty. And the stairs appeared again. Waiting for the next one. The stairs glowed faintly. A soft golden light meant to invite. Dust floated in the beam. Undisturbed. Like no one had moved through it in years. At the top, the hallway returned. Perfectly normal. Classroom doors shut. Lights steady. Lockers silent. But the school was not empty. Not completely. A janitor walked by, humming softly, pushing a mop bucket down the corridor. He passed the stairwell. Paused. The light coming from below flickered once. He frowned. Peered in. Saw nothing. Only shadows. And something small, lying on the top step. He bent down. Picked it up. A sketchbook. Dusty. But warm. He opened it. And on the last page, his own face, half finished. The pencil floated behind him. And the humming began again. The janitor froze. His breath caught in his throat. He turned slowly, eyes searching the dark behind him. No one stood there. But the pencil moved anyway, gliding through the air, slow and certain. On the page, his eyes took shape. What? Afraid. He dropped the sketchbook. It thudded softly on the step. But the pencil kept drawing. Faster now. Lines digging deeper into the paper. The hum swelled again. Low and endless, like 1,000 voices whispering beneath the floor. He backed away, step by step, until he reached the hallway. The stairwell door closed behind him. Silently. He turned and walked away. Mop bucket wheels squeaked. The tune returned to his lips. But in the basement, the sketchbook waited. Closed now. Pages full. And in the stillness, the last voice faded into the dark. I stayed. And so will the next.